Yeah, we should talk about COVID as well, because how do you see COVID affecting all these companies? Because obviously COVID is good for e-commerce because it really went through the roof last years. But we see big challenges in logistics. These things are raising like crazy. We see like all the textiles, plastics, everything is raising through the roof as well. Even the gas prices rising like crazy. How do you see this affecting these companies, even from the aggregator's perspective, or people who want to sell their business?
Yeah, well, I agree. I think COVID has been good for e-commerce in general at a macro level. There was the COVID boost was incredible for a lot of e-commerce companies at the time. Well, for the brands and the aggregators, but we've sort of got through that now. So it's actually making it difficult to compare now versus then, because then was so high. It's hard to perform as good as the COVID period. So I think there's more realism coming into performance now. But it's forced a lot of issues such as supply chain, and that's at a brand level and an aggregated level. It's important at a brand level. It's made a lot of companies that had 20% net margins this year at the start of this year dropped to 15% type net margins because of supply chain costs and other things like PPC costs. But that's really difficult for a brand owner. If they had sold in Q1, they would have got frankly a higher multiple than now if they're selling with 15%. It's also hard for the aggregators then, because they're having to accommodate and adjust to all these headwinds, all these increasing costs. But at least they have the balance sheet and the power and the resources to sort of get through these. Like ultimately, supply chain costs will reduce. Hope maybe not back to fully where they were, but they will reduce, and they have the ability to ride through those difficult periods. So from a brand owner perspective, those that have lost or had declined margins need to be more realistic from a valuation perspective. A lot of people we've spoken to have said they don't want to sell now in Q4. They want to wait until they get their margins back up, or at least go on the right trajectory. Mm-hmm. I think overall, based on our conversations with aggregators, there was 300 to 400 FBA exits in 2021. We think there'll be close to 1,000 in 2022. And so the quantum, there's a huge clearly demand of dollars that have to be deployed, and the quantum of deals is definitely going to be increasing. But in some cases, people will have to be realistic on valuation.
Yeah. I also saw that like on days like Black Friday and Cyber Monday, that the prices were actually higher than last year. Because otherwise you're simply losing a lot of money, and also see people actually raising their prices on these days, because then they are the most sales, and then they actually make some profit.
Yeah.
Yep.